All right, hey everyone, and there is a lot to talk about today. Welcome to Stock Talk on October 16th. You're looking at the yearly chart of SPY, or the S&P 500, which we use to look at general market movement. So what a day we had today, and after all of these red candles, this all culminated into what? A reversal back to the upside. So now we can almost confidently say that the bottom is situated at this boxed area, right? This bottom is going to be around, in my opinion, 270, and that is the bottom. Now, can we come down there? Where are we going to go from here? We're going to tackle all those questions and much more. First of all, you're looking at the S&P 500, but I think everyone's eyes was on aftermarket Netflix. And just showing you guys, if you guys weren't already aware, what Netflix is doing after hours. So we know that earnings were coming out today, and we closed at 346. Right now, we are trading around 389 to 390. That's after hours. It's up over 10% after hours. And just looking at the Netflix on the yearly chart, you guys can see how much this is influencing the NASDAQ at this point, the NASDAQ futures at least. So I'll show you the NASDAQ futures as well, but you guys can see how we've closed here, right, at 346, and now we are where? Around 389, pretty much this resistance area, which I've had for a while in terms of a gap area, and that's where we stopped at. Now, that's where we are right now, and then that's where the NASDAQ futures are stationed right now. So looking at NASDAQ futures, I want to take you guys, where are we right now? NASDAQ is pretty much near the 20-period moving average. We are currently trading at around 73.40, so that is the number right here, 73.40. Okay, that's all well and great, right? So remember the two scenarios. Yesterday I pointed out two scenarios for general market movement, and one scenario based off of yesterday's trajectory was to the downside, which we obviously didn't get today because all that was pushed to the upside. Now, here's the deal. Remember that the first scenario had us going up, right? Possibly even going over a little bit, getting near the 20-period moving average before another rejection. Remember, and this is just in perspective of what's happened in the past, is that we came down significantly, and when we come down significantly, we can have stocks pushing up quickly at one time as well, right? As fast as it can drop, it can recover just as quickly. That's something to keep in mind. But looking at this chart, right, we are pushing higher. So one way in which we can move from this point on forward is we can spike up a little bit, get near the 20-period moving average, and we're going to be monitoring the reaction off of that level, and then that could be the ways down, right, for the next down wave. Towards what area? 274, 270, 272, around that general vicinity is where we are going to say that is going to be pretty much the low that we're looking for, or the bottom that we're looking for. We finally get a green candle, and of course this green candles. Now, I want to show you guys historical patterns, right? So I want to take you guys back to the past and just note that, you know, when we're nearing the bottom and we have a big green day, right? Next day, we can certainly stall out at one point, and we can certainly retrace a portion of that move in some time period, right? So it doesn't have to be tomorrow, but it can be within 1 to 3 days. Remember yesterday I was talking about the potential for the drop Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or even Friday, right? But now that we've moved higher, the potential for the drop is still there. It doesn't mean that we're going to surge all the way up. I think we're still going to meet sellers soon. It's just at what point, right? That's the question. And based off of today's movement, I can, pretty confidently say that this was the near term bottom at least. So keep an eye out for that. That's the S&P 500 for you guys. Now, talked about the upside, talked about the downside. So what can we do? Can we all of a sudden go even higher and push above the 20-period moving average and then recover all the way back above 287? Okay? That's less likely, less plausible that will happen within the next few days. Okay, it's less likely because of the magnitude we pulled lower. I don't expect a swift push up. Yes, it was swift today, but remember, again, it can be a swift move down as well. Let's take a look at volatility, or TVIX. And guys, what a move by volatility. You guys can see today we pretty much went down all day, right? It was closed at 36.26, really didn't followed markets for the most part in terms of a bottom. But what was interesting after market was, notice how TVIX, even after Netflix, earnings came out really positive, pulled the futures a little bit higher. Look how volatility is stalling at this bottom. Okay, whether that transaminates into something more tomorrow, we'll have to see, right? But that's something interesting to note. Volatility didn't really budge even when everyone else was getting pushed higher. That's interesting. So what are we looking for volatility? Can volatility come back and move higher? Sure we can. Yes, we can. Just because today's movement was significant to the downside, you guys can see how rapidly things can change. If one day we go significantly higher, the next day we can certainly go significantly lower. And that's just has to be in our mind at this point. I don't want to completely flip bullish, but that has to be in our conscience, right? All right, so let's take a look at your commodities /CL or crude oil futures. Crude oil, right? As markets pushed higher, look at what crude oil did. It went slightly higher. So was this expected? Yeah, for the most part, this was an expected movement. And right now, is the overall bullish trend out of the realm, right? It's not. Right, we're still bullish on crude oil, and I think crude oil still can continue push higher in the future. So even though we've come down significantly, we can certainly move higher and possibly even make new highs. This uptrend has not been broken. Even if it comes down more, the uptrend will not have been broken. And that's crude oil. So crude oil is still looking good. I think the pattern looks solid. /NG natural gas. I talked about natural gas, how this was a difficult pattern to trade, because you guys can see we're nearing the upper realm, but we're nearing the middle, right? If you're talking about the upper, 10%, it's about up here, right? Upper 10%. Here, we're around the middle, right? Here, we're nearing the bottom. But right now, what are we doing? It's obviously on an uptrend. Short term, it can shift both ways. So what are you going to do? Well, as a trader, you could take no position. Perhaps sometimes no position is the best position. Of course, if you guys do see a pattern with this, by all means, you can invest in natural gas or short, but that's what I'm seeing right now. So hopefully that helps. /GC gold futures. Remember yesterday's analysis, we talked about how gold was short term, it could certainly come down, and that's what we were looking for. You guys can see that gold support is around 1211 to around the 1217, 1220 area. I want it to come down and retest that area. Whether it comes down and retest that area, we'll have to see. But gold overall, long term bullish. Short term might come down a little bit, right? Gold follows the ticker JNUG. I think someone in our stockroom chat was looking at JNUG as well and is participating in it. So you guys can see JNUG today didn't really move that much, but what was it doing, right? Yesterday we said that there was a potential to push lower. We did attempt to push lower, but look at that. By the end of the day, we did manage to push higher. So it's interesting how, we did sell off. We gapped higher, sold off during the day, but we didn't sell off significantly. But, what can this say? Obviously, gold is bullish in the long term. In the short term, sure, there's some fluctuations, but, that's that. That's normal. And that's an ETF for you guys, right? If an ETF doesn't fluctuate, then we don't call that an ETF. All right. So let's take a look at a couple of your comments, and we'll start with the first comment. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to make this video just a little bit short, make it a little bit quick, short and sweet for you guys today because I have some things to do, but please leave a like and hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. And of course, check out the course down below because we are actively talking in our Discord chat every single day about all the various trends that we're seeing, and like really as it occurs. So it's an exciting time, especially as stocks are recovering right now. It's a pretty good time, especially if you took a starter position, or even if you didn't, waiting for that downturn. Interesting. Let's take a look at Square. Here's Square on the yearly chart, and you can see the up move today, right? 6.71%. Very nice up move. Now here's the deal with Square, right? Square did fall significantly. It fell significantly. So yes, we've had a partial retracement of that move, but recall and note that we're still at 78.72. Okay? Just a couple of days ago, last week, we were at over $100. Just keep that in the back of your mind. I'm not saying that it can't go higher, but the thing is, here's the 20-period moving average, right? We're below 2 of the moving averages right now. So while Square is, oversold and was due for a possible push higher, just evaluate, where we are at. And if you take a look at Square, it's already been up significantly in really the past year. So, put everything into context. Then you can justify whether you feel that this price point is valid. Your near-term resistance has to be around the 20-period moving average. Possibly that's situated around 83.72, but at the same time, keeping in mind that earnings is coming up next month. So, you guys can see upon earnings what happens. Here we didn't do that much. Here we did do quite a bit, right? That was pretty much the catalyst that pushed us higher, but earnings, it could be shifting, it could be wavy back and forth. So, thank you for your ticket call out. Medi, AMD strong buy. So a very interesting point, right? Remember yesterday I talked about how we should keep over the 25.62 mark, right? And let me just show you guys. I think I was looking at the 3-year weekly chart, and you guys can see how we were in fact closing over on the weekly chart. We were pretty much closing over on the yearly chart as well, right? Pretty much at the support line, and you guys can see now that we've held over it, we've gone higher. So remember, I talked about if we're holding over the support line, chances are that could be a signal that we are pushing to the upside. AMD once again, and a lot of the patterns are redeveloping, are looking good. They're looking good, and you guys can see earnings once again coming up. So you guys can imagine, we might be situated near the resistance area by earnings, or possibly near the support by then. Depends on what market does, right? But right now, short-term AMD looking good as it's crossed the 20-period moving average. Evan, can I take a look at SOXL? Absolutely. SOXL was a big mover today, but remember, it was a big sell-off in the past, right? So SOXL, okay, so I'm going to actually remove this boxed area. The boxed area, you guys know, represented what? Well, it was a previous buy area in the past, right? Because we've held support around here in the past. But this time we slashed below it, but now we're pretty much back at, to the near-term resistance area, actually, at 122.82. Here's the deal with this one, right? This one was deeply oversold, and it was due for a bounce. Look where we are compared to a couple of days ago. Let's just say, out of, just scenario-wise, where we were in the past, 144. Where are we right now? 125.57. 144, 125.57. Okay, we're still significantly below, and hence I will be keeping an eye out on the general markets, as you should if you are going into this ETF, right? Because you obviously, if the markets start reversing tomorrow at some point and starts pushing lower, you don't want to get stuck in SOXL, as this one can possibly do another bottom at some point. Just keep that in mind, right? And what's a good strategy? You have to pinpoint your risk management. How do you invest in one that's already moved and retraced a portion of it back with the potential that it could go lower? That's something you have to consider. All right. Arshish, thank you for your comment. Hopefully I answered your question about UGLD yesterday. And let's see. We'll take one more ticker. If I didn't get to your ticker, please resend me your ticker. And thank you, Eric, McCombs, K9, Trader Princess, everyone for commenting. Your comments are always welcome, so keep on doing so. Let's take a look at the last ticker. Which one will it be? It'll be CRM, so Salesforce. This one, I really like this stock, right? It's on a constant uptrend. It's now, you guys can see it's holding the 150 period moving average. And what is it doing right now? It's on an uptrend. So this is one that looks solid. I think this one has solid growth. And, near-term resistance, we're pretty much near it, 149.31. The moral of the story is, in all these areas that we're watching, right, we're all heading toward near-term resistances from the oversold area to near-term resistance areas, right? They've retraced a portion of the move back, most of the stocks. So the big question is, are we going to get that sell-off? And in my opinion, it's still very possible that we will get a sell-off, but got to be monitoring it on a daily basis. I think we'll see it in this week if we have that sell-off. If not, so CRM, by the way, just to close that thought, looks like a solid pattern. I think this one, whichever position you get in the long term, you're holding it long term, you're looking at long term, it's a solid one to look at. So good job on your ticker eyesight. So SPY, I want to go back to your previous pattern and showing you, when we're oversold, and this is in the past, right? But this is a good reference point. How long did it take us before we went to the bottom again? This was a period of over a month, okay? So again, it doesn't have to take a month. It could take 10 days before we reach that bottom. We were in oversold territory. We're pushing higher. Doesn't mean this is the end of the minor correction. Does not mean that. As a matter of fact, I could say that there's going to be a down move at some point in the next few weeks. If not this week, next few weeks. Okay, so that's what I'm saying right now. And keeping everything in perspective, you don't have to go all in into a specific ticker right now. Not to mention you shouldn't ever go all in into a specific ticker. You guys know that, right? So guys, thank you very much for watching this video, and see you guys tomorrow for, of course, another Stock Talk. And enjoy your day. Hopefully you had a great trading day. If not, keep on improving, and I'll see you tomorrow.